Welcome to the tee off.
Ooh, spill that tea, sis.
This is how I like to start the show off. I like to spill some tea on our favorite athletes and some of the crazy situations they get themselves into. Look, first and foremost, this one was submitted by a follower on Twitter. You can follow the pod on at the Fly Route Pod. And shout out to at NFL Pro Picks for the recommendation. This is a fantastic story. So we are talking about Michael Irvin, drafted in 1988. Dallas Cowboys legend, spent his entire career there and retired in 2000. Look, this is about Irvin's second to last season with the Cowboys, 1998. The Cowboys were at training camp at Midwestern State University. This is in Wichita Falls, Texas, not too far off from Dallas. And apparently it was a tradition for the Cowboys to provide an in-house barber while everybody was at training camp. Now, this story starts when Irvin walks into the room with the barber and everybody in it, and he wants his haircut, but he don't want to wait. And he sees a teammate, Everett Mciver, who is a new acquisition for the Cowboys at this time and was a starting right guard on the team, but was also in the NFL for 5 years at this time of the story. And while Mciver is getting his haircut, Irvin walks up to him and tries to get him out of his seat mid-haircut. I cannot make that up. And it doesn't take too long for things to get out of hand. Irvin begins yelling, seniority, 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 over and over again. That doesn't make Mciver move. Then he starts yelling, punk, get the fuck up out my chair. And everybody that sees this is like, for no reason, Michael Irvin just walks into this room and tries to get this guy out of the chair mid-haircut because apparently he is just way too good to wait a couple of minutes to get his haircut. And another offensive lineman looks at Mciver and says, you're no fucking rookie. He can't tell you what to do. And Mciver was clearly feeling the support. He was kind of gassed off of this one and decides to take Irvin on for this issue. And like, I'm getting like the Mark Phillips, Hood Olympics instigating role here. And I wonder if that teammate ever really thinks about this in retrospect and was like, maybe I should have stayed out of this one. But Mciver was like, hell yeah, you aren't getting me out my chair. He gets up and shoves Irvin. Irvin shoves him back. They get into a physical altercation in the middle of the barber shop. They start trading blows. And the thing you got to understand about this is Mciver is an offensive lineman. So he's like 6', 345. Irvin is at a clear disadvantage. So Mciver is giving him the work, punching him in the face and whatnot. And what happens here, Irvin decides to grab a pair of scissors in the shop and stab Mciver in his neck, literally missing his carotid artery by inches, according to reports. And look, this becomes a very gruesome scene. Mciver starts grabbing at his neck. Blood is gushing out everywhere. And Perlman actually wrote a book on this situation, and he describes it as the motion was neither smooth nor slick, but jagged, like a saw cutting felt. The tip of the scissors ripped into Mciver's skin just about at his collarbone. All right, that's pretty serious stuff. The whole scene was crazy, according to a current former member of the team, Kevin Smith, who played corner. And Michael Irvin literally almost killed this guy, inches away from killing this guy. It's insane. The Cowboys, of course, you know what America's favorite team does. They tried to cover it up. This is particularly important because Michael Irvin in this situation was actually on probation for another quite infamous story involving a motel room, a lot of cocaine, and some strippers. And he had basically just been fresh off of court, been put on probation, and was told that he was going to go to jail for a long ass time if anybody had to see him in there one more time. So Jerry Jones does Jerry Jones things, tries to sort this out, and actually pays off Mciver to stay silent about this situation. And unfortunately, the Dallas Morning News gets a hold of this story and the payout, runs with the story, and Jerry Jones flips out, threatens to remove all of his ads from the Dallas Morning News to try to force them into taking down the story. Of course, they do not do that. And then everybody starts running with it. You know how the media does. If one person touches the story, now everybody does. And the Cowboys described this as horseplay and an internal matter that wasn't going to get any further than that. And then you have to ask yourself, why are we reaching back to this now? Besides the fact that great recommendation, shout out at NFL Pro Picks again. But recently this year, Irvin was on a podcast called 10 Questions with Kyle Brandt, and he tells his side of the story. And when I heard his side of the story, no, you can only hear this for yourself.
People talk about this. There was an event in 1998 having to do with scissors and a teammate. What happened?
Okay, we had a tradition. We had a tradition in training camp. Just like they have in every training camp. Veterans go, and then rookies go, and then younger guys go.
Now remember, McIver at this time is a 5-year veteran in the NFL.
Veterans, and then the guy that behind the veterans, and then the guys that behind those guys, and then the rookies go last. We had veterans. So after practice, we've been practicing hard, and everybody's kind of riled up. We come in, doing what we always do. The veterans jump in, and a guy there that was new to the team, I just wanted to spread his wings and kind of show. I understand that he's a man.
You hear this nigga? He wants to spread his wings and show he's a man because he ain't get up in the middle of his fucking haircut for you. How narcissistic can you be to reshape this story in this way?
Even though the rules are what they were, and then we got into a little spat. Now, this is a big 340-pound guy. Big 340-pound guy, offensive lineman. The guy, people do the research, they want to find out what happened. His name, I won't put it out for him. I hope all the best for him. But afterwards, and then we got into it. He just came at me, and I'm talking about this big guy had me down, punching me. I was like, whoa, kind of caught me off guard. But then we got into it, and I actually grabbed a pair of scissors. Hey, big fella, stop, back up now, stop, don't do that again, don't come up.
There are literally no reports of this situation that says Michael Irvin literally at any point said, hey, big fella, stop. In fact, everybody just says he grabbed the scissors and stabbed the dude in the neck with no warning. Everybody was shocked. So clearly this motherfucker lying.
To me again. And he did come up, and he moved and came up, and the scissors cut him.
So this nigga stabbed himself in the neck with the scissors, according to Michael Irvin. He moved up and stabbed himself. You hear that? You believe that? All right, let's keep going. For everybody that's listening on YouTube, you can actually see the video and see his face while he lies to you.
The scissors cut him in that room, and everybody went crazy. Now, let me tell you something. I had just gotten out of court where the judge told me.
The rest of this is him going into the story about how he was on probation and that guy actually saved his ass because he would have spent like a decade in jail if this had gotten out or McIver had ever decided to press charges. But that was your tee off.
Ooh, spill that tea, sis. Spill that tea, sis.